If you hadn't already, go check out episode 29. I'll link that here as well as in the description below. We planted a Carlos as well as a Cowart Muscadine. So both of those have been growing. They've been growing okay.
Dean Family Acres.
Now that I got the tractor out of the way, we're gonna actually put the wire up on the trellis for our muscadines. We're gonna use 9-gauge wire and actually some trellis wire anchors. Ordered these off of Amazon. You can also get them off eBay. Did not find anyone locally who had these anchors. Saw a couple YouTube videos about it and felt like that was our best option. So that's the direction we're gonna go. I'm going to put these at 5 foot high. So since our ground is actually not level here, we're gonna have to level that out or at least get it pretty close. And then we'll kind of go from there. Thanks so much for watching, you guys, and hope you enjoy. So we've got our post in the ground, and now we are going to put the wire up so that we can complete our trellis. Our muscadines are growing. They're not growing quite as vigorous as I would wanted, but June bug beetles, Japanese beetles, got us, and I also didn't have them standing up, so I think some other stuff kind of ate them as well. So I've got them kind of staked up at this point, and once we get our wire up here, then we can actually run a string down for them to climb up. So follow along as we put in these anchors and wire to complete our muscadine trellis. All right, so this is what we're going to use to put up the wire for our trellis. We got 9-gauge. We've got 2 50-foot rolls, ordered that off of Amazon. And then we also got one-way anchor vise grips. And these actually work really well from everything we've seen on YouTube. And basically the wire comes in here and it will not come out. Actually it goes in this way and will not come out. So that way you can tension it, and if it gets slack, you just leave enough on the end where you can grab a hold of it and pull it and tighten it up some. So we're gonna see how these work. Basically, got to drill a little bit larger hole. We're gonna use a 1/2-inch drill bit here. These are actually for, I believe, 9 to 11 gauge. And we're gonna use a 1/2-inch drill bit here. And then on the back side of the post, we're gonna use a 1/4-inch drill bit to allow the 9-gauge wire to actually come through. So follow along, that way you can kind of see exactly how it works. All right, everybody, what we're gonna do here is just get our hole. You can see, you don't want to go all the way through. Basically, you want this to right there. So I know you could always put a piece of tape, but I know basically I'm looking at a fingernail up on my drill bit. This is an old bit, so it might not like me a whole lot, but I just want this to slide down in the post like this, and then that wire will come in on this side. I think these posts might be a little bit twisted. We laid them out pretty straight, but they might be a little twisted, so we might need a little bit of wiggle room. But we're just gonna go to our 5-foot mark and make this happen. All right, and here we go. Told you this was an old bit. We might need to rethink this thing. Go get a different bit. I don't have one quite this big that's newer, but I've got one a little bit smaller. It'll be okay. All right, guys, so we're gonna try this again with a new bit. Woo! Just remember, when you get a new bit, You need to make sure on your depth again because this one's a little bit different. So I need to go about there. Perfect. About right there. The 1/4 inch bit is not very long. I don't know if I have one that's very long to be able to go all the way through without having to go to the other side and kind of guessing where we're at. So let's hope this will go through. Nice. Now, I've read a couple different things here that say pull your wire through here and then feed it on. Don't try and stick it through there, that kind of thing. You're gonna have some problems. As you can see, that bit was a little bit smaller, so I'm gonna have to kind of wallow that out a little bit. Forgot about that. So we've got this one at 5 feet. Now we need to take a string or something else and go across and see if we can get it about the same height. I honestly don't remember if I have any string. I do have some rope and I've kind of improvised with that. You can also improvise if you have a clear piece of hose because water will stay at the same level and you can fill the hose up with water. Get it level on this side and then you hold your hose up over there and the water will stay at the same height. It's a neat trick you can try. So let me see if I've got a piece of rope that I can go across and I can hold a level on it, get it close enough. Could be interesting with just one person though. Let's see how this goes. All right, so we're gonna use what we got. Let's see, it should be at the bottom of that strap. Boom, yeah, look at that. The exact people, I might could have eyeballed this better. I don't know if this is the best idea, people. I don't think this was my best idea. All right, so I got another idea in regards to trying to get a level line because I can't find my string. I have a line level, but I can't find my string. So, speaking of which, y'all see that? Oh, he just went behind the trees. It's like a parachute guy with this engine on it. Kind of cool, something different. All right, so my idea. I'm gonna use my tape and pull it across, and that should be able to hold a straight line, and then I will put my level on it. This will require some assistance though.
Which way does it go again?
Watch it, and then I'll reel that in. Hang on, I'll unhook it for you. All right, so now that we've got this end set on height, we're actually pretty close on height from ground level down there, even though when you look at it, kind of makes your eyes look completely different. But what we're gonna do now is put the bigger hole straight through, then we'll put another vise on this end. Some people only put a vise on one end, but from what I've read, it's kind of best to have them on both ends. That way you have a little more adjustability. So we're gonna do that now. So we got both those in, now let's get the wire loose. Now you can see we got the vise in on this end and the vise in on the other end. Now let's grab this 9-gauge wire and run it through and see if we can get this set up. So I decided to go ahead and put a vise on this one end just so that I have some resistance. I'm gonna make sure and pull out enough of it so that we have some adjustment. I just don't want to, I've heard that if these pull through or you have an issue, they don't like to be re-fed through again. So we're just gonna be careful with that. But I think we'll be fine to actually get this mounted on one side, and then that way I've got some resistance where I can straighten this out. This 9-gauge is no joke. This is what Ison's recommends, and but it definitely is some pretty substantial wire. All right guys, so you can kind of see here how this wire actually feeds through, and then this vise actually is going to go through this way. So just make sure, put it here, make sure this looks fairly straight. Yeah, you can see through it. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to feed the wire through first. Got that there, and we're going to feed it straight through here. All right. So I know at least at a minimum I want this much, probably actually at least another foot. You can always cut it off, but I don't want to waste any wire either. Got a 50-foot roll, and my posts are actually about 22 feet apart. So kind of think about that. Gives me a little bit of wiggle room in case I want to run a second one. But now let's get this set back up, and I'll let you see me actually pulling the wire. You can see the wire will not come back through. Guys, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to pull this a little bit. I still got a little bit of curve in it. I know it won't be perfect, but all right. And then I know that I want a little extra slack on both ends. Again, 22 feet. I don't want to go, I want to be able to pull this at least twice if I need to. I got my length here. I'll take my cutters. Man, 9 gauge, serious. I think what I'm gonna go do is just before I thread it through, I'm gonna go down here on this end and see if I can't get this to straighten out just a pinch. A little better. Hopefully y'all can see that. Straighten out right here on the end. This is not as easy as it seems. All right. I think what I'm going to do now is actually, and I've heard of guys using vice grips to get this kind of snug. Might have got a little extra here. All right, I'm gonna go to the other side since that side is hooked, and we will see if that will work well for us. This will work. Oh yeah, I think that'll work. We got tape around this for shipping. I don't know why. This stuff is pretty stout. I'm gonna get you a little bit closer here. Let's see exactly how this looks. See that there? And that is pretty stout. I think that is plenty. So we're gonna go with that, and then I've got another one that I will do. The irrigation line needs to be at a lower level. I'm gonna try and find a lower gauge just to save money. I've got lower gauge wire so that we can actually irrigate these. I've been watching a couple different people on YouTube as well as Ison's. Ison's is the main one I get instructions from, and I think everybody uses their instructions. And they basically run a lower line for irrigation, and you just run drip to each of your plants. Only thing left is to put on a fence clip onto the T-post. See exactly where it falls. Put it right there. Every style's a little bit different. I like the ones that have a little loop on them, but I picked these up at Habitat. If y'all don't know already by now, I like going to Habitat, especially when you save money. All right, so our trellis wire is up. We've got that secured, and our vine is finally long enough to make it to the wire. So what we're gonna do today, I think what I'm gonna do is try and just zip tie it here, and then I'm gonna pinch it off. From what I've been told by an older guy at our church, you don't want to just lay it over and let one go the other direction, because you'll always have a stronger vine going in one direction, which in this situation might be okay given our distance, but we're gonna pinch it off and just see how it goes. So we're gonna untie it from the stake we have here, and then we're gonna go up.
Cole's watching you.
Cole, what are you doing? Cole will probably like those. Let's see if he likes them. Yep. 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 Mmm. We had something that was close and something made it off in the last week. All right, so we got the Stewart up, and Carlos is getting closer. As always, thanks again for watching this video. We hope that you enjoyed it. Don't forget to give us that big thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe. And once you subscribe, don't forget to pound that bell like Mike Tyson did in the 1980s. Be sure and check out a little preview right here of what we're going to have up next week. So we got our trellis in the, it's not a trellis yet. Got to work on the trellis. And I wonder why guys spend $100 on a wireless mic.